Well, I guess you could call this a nostalgic walk through what used to be our home, and we're grateful for those of you who said, why don't you repair the Redhouse? This is the Redhouse as it is now, and the floor is underwater. Nana tells us that the rain has not stopped since we left. It's been going solid day and night for something like 3 days. This is my desk. My desk has not suffered great damage because we have this drop ceiling, and this drop ceiling is stopping certain amounts of the water, but you can see here that of course it's getting through, but much more gradually. So there's stuff here that can be saved. My beautiful books that were a gift from Tom Rose, they've escaped damage, and I'll be able to rescue all of that. My little my special gift from Will, and some books there that have escaped, and some of those little things that people gather. I think it's called stuff, but all of this is okay, and we'll get it out today. Looking through, this was Beth's desk. She never used it. She instead preferred to commandeer what was to have been the dining nook, but that was her office. We spent most of our time there. Our couch seldom got used. It's all ruined now, of course. Some of this is still protected, but on certain parts we decided let me say, I suppose I should my phone is not working now. Yeah, sorry, talking to myself there. I was saying that I suppose I should put the flashlight on, but the phone wouldn't work. Here we are. Here's a little indicator. We kind of just left. It was like the wreck of the Marie Celeste. This is the biggest disappointment for me, is my books. But maybe I'll never get to read enough, but I'll get more of those. So going through the TV, maybe the TV will be okay, not sure, and photographs there that we never got to hang. I don't know whether you can see, but the floor is soaked. We decided that we would rebuild instead of this. Well, there we are. That gives you an idea of the extent of the damage. It just ripped. Look, that plywood was the drop ceiling. It just ripped that off. All of this, of course, will be useless now. Clothes we can rescue. That's what everybody in the Philippines will be doing now that's suffering from this. So yes, We spent a lot of time in this, and we spent a lot of time on it too. This was our Chinese daybed that we used to hang out on. We just had curtains made, never got to put them up. And that's our view, which was on our breakfast table. All gone now. There we go. Our kitchen. As it will never be. Some of this we might be able to use again, but I prefer to build again and have something I have to put this down. Now, my door open, it's all warped and jammed. So that was to our extension. That was where we had the fire and we lost all the ceiling. You can see, I think you should be able to see that this little house, and it was a little house, it's only 25 feet from here, 25 feet from here to the front door. And then while we were thinking about that, we decided we'd put an extra floor on it. So it's an end to a particular time period in our lives. This is when we were building our channel. We built our channel up to its present, whatever that is, in this little house, and we spent all of our time doing this. And actually Beth and I both sat at this little dining nook. I sat on the side where the guitar is, and Beth sat on the other side with the computer. She worked from a laptop, I worked from my phone. I answered all of the comments, and we discussed and agreed on what we would post. For those of you who are constantly complaining about Beth's titles, what can I say? Nothing. They were what they were. Beth is a Bohol girl. She's what I used to affectionately call an island girl, and she did what she did with the titles. And right now, I guess we can say that the haters will all reveal themselves for what they are, because now, when they were talking about our fabulous lifestyle, it was this little house. And when they were talking about our swimming pool, it was as big as, and still is, as big as this little living room. Something like 15 by 12. So now that we are down to nothing, they will be hating on something else, and they will reveal themselves, because now we've got the task of rebuilding, and in rebuilding we have to work out how best we can be of help, because we do have a charity, and that charity is dedicated to helping those who are less fortunate in the Philippines. So our plan at the moment, whether Beth has already done a video on this, our plan at the moment is to rebuild what we can of this. But we're not, Beth and I are not going to be knocking nails in and putting roofing sheets. I don't go on roofing anymore. I don't get up on the roof anymore, because I'm 82 going on 83 this year, and that's the common sense of it. Just as I thought that anything couldn't get any worse, I got a flat tire on the Raptor, because probably because of all of the nails that have been dropped while the roofing and carpentry has been going on. I think that's BB out there. I'm not quite sure. Is it BB? Yes, it is. So our plan was, there wasn't so much damage done to the roof for this building that we're looking at right now, which is our guest house, and there wasn't so much damage done to that, so that was fairly easily repaired, temporary repair, and that was done while we were away attending to the online business and to the bank, because once you have no power, you have no internet, you have no bank, and an awful lot of things disappear. Right here at home, that was our water supply there. Of course, we don't have any electricity now, so we don't have a pump bringing the water up to those barrels which used to be up there. So while we've been away, we've repaired the guest house, so that's where Beth and I will now move into. The damage to the roof on Nanai's house has now been repaired. You can see that this is a temporary repair, and for those of you who think that you can just put a few tarpaulins up and then everything will be fine, you're really so far out of reality that I can't really explain it to you. When an entire section of roof has been ripped off, including the framework, there's no stretching a bit of tarpaulin over there to keep everything. Look at that, that's the extension. The roof sections are completely gone, so you don't put a tarpaulin across that. So we're now at a point where we can function. That one down there is Lena's house, and Lena's house, half of it has lost the roof, so a lot of water damage. It hasn't stopped raining like this since the typhoon. So we're now functional. Nanai's house is now being cleaned out, and they're able to sleep in there. They slept there last night, in the guest house last night. All I think 7 of us crammed in there like sardines on the floor. It's like the Godfather's movie. We've gone to the mattress. Or is it the mattress? Not quite sure. But anyway, there's BB. What am I talking about? Senior moment. That's our lovely. So this is as much as we can do on the roofing, because guess what? All of the roofing materials are gone. You can't buy a sheet of corrugated iron, whatever you want to pay. So that's the situation. That's our Little Red. Little Red doesn't move any more than Big Blue moves. They are relics of the past. I will hope that there will be a brief pause in the rain so that I can get that tyre switched to make sure that there are no more nails dropped in the drive that are going to do the rest of the tyres, and I hope that the wreckage of the tyre repair is now fixed. Otherwise I won't be able to get a tyre fixed, and those are big tyres, and they go on the normal tooling for repairing. You got to take that. So that's where we are. It's not a happy picture, but we are doing okay. Meantime, we've been handling as many feedings as we can. Some people don't like that idea, feedings. It's what comes from a translation from the Visayan, as far as I understand. So feedings they are, and we go out and we feed as many people as we can what we've got. So our focus is not just on ourselves. We're doing okay. We paid the chainsaw people to come in. Some of you even complained about that. We paid 20,000 pesos for a team of people who came, and there were, I describe what I saw, 2 guys with chainsaws. These guys are absolute technicians. They came and they cleared all of what was blocking the drive, and that was a huge mango tree, and I think 1 or 2 coconuts which we lost as well. They came and they did that. So there was the old man that runs that company, and it is a company of chainsaw technicians, supervised. They got that cleared amazingly in around, I don't know, maybe an hour. Now they then proceeded to go down, and when I say they, there were probably 15 or 20 helpers. So the chainsaw technicians go in and they cut everything up, and I know exactly how to do it, and they cut everything up, and then it's all dragged out of the way, and I think that looks like it's on the back of the Raptor. All of that is the debris from the broken trees, and so they cleared all of that so that we can get up and down. Then they went down the road. It's about 2 miles of something like 12, I counted about 10 or 12 obstructions where trees completely blocked the road. They cleared all of that in, I think, one morning or afternoon. I've forgotten when they came now. They cleared all of that and it was all done. Now, if you look out on our videos where we've been traveling to Tagbilaran, you'll see that the roads out there in the outside world are still blocked. And our little road that gets us out to the real situation is not blocked anymore. So we thought that 20,000, when they could choose their work, everybody is blocked. Everybody has. Our friends Michael and Bonnie, they can't get in their drive because a mango has fallen across the gate, so they can't get in. And they had made a recent point of putting the barbed wire fencing around part of the property which faces onto the Barangay Road. So now they've become their own, they're the effect of their own security work. I managed to get in when I went out and checked on them, but they had apparently fled to their little house, which is in Taliban. I think they're back in Zamora now. They are well. All of the family is well. Everybody has survived, no injuries. Is in the same kind of state as this. If you look at the trees over there, we can now see so much more because all of these trees have been taken down. You can look at that tree there. Look, it's just a thin, like a thin spire going up into the sky. That used to be a full tree, just been stripped. So we're functional here. We can eat. Nana's dirty kitchen has been put back in order, but we don't have any water, we don't have any power, we don't have any internet, and those things are vital to us. Whatever people say about, oh well, you're doing this and that for views, God, that was a monumental discovery for you people who don't think for yourselves. Yes, we're vloggers and we document, we chronicle what is happening in our lives, and this is happening in our lives. So get used to it. Yes, we're looking for views. Get used to it. You can help us by just being an active subscriber. You can help us to put this right for our family, for us, and you can help us to continue doing what we do to help the less fortunate. There are people out there who are not sitting on a property like this. There are people out there who have a kind of ownership on the land that their house has been destroyed on, but it's difficult for them to rebuild. We looked on our way home, we looked at the house of the family of Nice. Nice has recently was one of our students that we were supporting through her college, and she made us proud when she graduated. So she graduated, she is going into criminology, hopes to be in the police force very soon. But even that is on, I think, is on a delay. Just as before, a lot of the time everything would be blamed on the pandemic. Now things are going to be blamed, and quite rightly too, they're going to be blamed on what we're looking at right now, which is a destruction that was left behind by Odette. And it's extensive, and it will take a long time to put it all right. So if you're in America and you have a catastrophe, you may have to drive a couple of hours or an hour, and you will be able to go to a Home Depot and get everything that you want, and you will be able to come back and put things to right. And that's not possible here. The roads are blocked, they're gradually being repaired, they're dangerous because the way that some of them have been freed leaves the trunk of a tree jutting out into the road. Even a few feet is a risk, because you're not allowing for it as you relax and drive. So it can be difficult. So we're not complaining. Beth and I are not complaining. The truth is that this is what our mission involves. We can employ people, and in employing them we put bread on the table. We put food on the table of their families, because money now is scarce. You can't get money. You go to the bank, it's closed. Go to the ATM, it requires power. There's power. So you have to drive. If you drive, it requires fuel. And if you have been looking at our videos, you will see that sometimes the line outside a gas station, which is working under damaged conditions, in other words, roofs may have gone there, the overhang that usually is stereotypical of every gas station has usually fallen over. So all of that has to be dealt with. So many gas stations are just closed, which makes the gas stations that can be open a prize, a target for everyone who needs fuel. If you work out that there are literally thousands of motorcycles, and they all get fuel at the most, they have to have fuel, and it only comes in a few litres at a time for these scooter style motorcycles that you see here. That's like the one that we borrowed to go up and check on Alfred. So just let me make a comment on the video that we made about going to check on Alfred. Our video was about Alfred because that's why we're going there. We were not going there to look at the scenery. We went and tried to get to Alfred's house. Now, At the point at which we were not even able to get a motorcycle to go through there, we'd abandoned the motorcycle, and no sooner had we started to walk than Beth said, "Here's Alfred." And Alfred and Marie were there, and they were climb on to a tricycle taxi to go into town to get some food. So we got the news from Alfred. Not quite sure why people thought that there was nothing about Alfred in there, but people think what they think. And usually those who get it all wrong have not watched the video to the end. Those that like to nitpick and find fault with everything that we do, they'll always be there. They're part of the scenery. So Alfred, in case you haven't seen it, Alfred is well, so is Marie. They are surviving well, other than they were going to get food. For the moment, there is food supplies. And I was talking to the police chief in Taliban when we were doing one of our feedings, and he said that he had in conference with the manager of Al Taurus, and Al Taurus, the manager, had come down from Tagbilaran, especially to meet with the police, who will be trying to coordinate an orderly place, an orderly town, and had assured the police chief that there were enough supplies to last a month. Now, I'd already started laying in some stocks, call it hoarding if you wish, but if you had any idea what's going on, you might have known that it's always wise to have a few stocks laid in case of an emergency, which is as it is now. So if they manage to get all of the roads cleared, they'll be able to get supplies in to Al Taurus, and so people will be able to buy groceries. But if they haven't got any money, they won't be able to buy anything, and there's no money easily accessible. Now the good news is that we were driving, I think, nearly 3 hours. It was about 4 hours on the roads as they were to Tagbilaran to get money, where there were lines of people also trying to do the same thing, and people from outlying areas had come into Tagbilaran also to get money, because they can't get them in these places outside of the big city where they haven't got multiple generators all going on. With the businesses that are involved in doing trade in Tagbilaran, it's more of a big city, and so more of the companies have generators. Here you can't buy a generator. Someone said, "I'm surprised that you didn't invest in a couple of generators." Wishful thinking. A couple of generators. Yeah. A couple of chainsaws would be nice too. The couple of chainsaws which are available at the moment in Al Taurus were around the 67,000 pesos mark. So that's a bit an update. I didn't intend to go on quite so long, but anyway, if you're in a dry place, enjoy. It can soon turn wet. Bye for now.